Hello, good afternoon again, and welcome to our show, The Cafecito with Rosie on Air, where you will find tips, ideas, inspiring people that will help you achieve a thriving, successful, and profitable business. My name is Rosie Paulson, and I am your host. And I have been living in the Tampa Bay area for 32 years. So I'm bringing people into my show that can inspire you to find the best self, live an amazing life, and just have an amazing experience with your business. Today, I am glad and very honored to introduce a person that has helped me achieve one of my childhood dreams. You know, I'm originally from Ecuador, but being English as my second language and Spanish as my first language, since I came so early into this country, the United States, I've always called my language Spanglish. So I never thought I could write a book. But Liza Marie Garcia has her company where she helps people like me and business owners with the new business card. If you are a business owner and you need to inspire your paying customer, the new business card is right in your book. So Liza Marie, welcome. Thank you for being here this afternoon. How are you?
Thank you so much, Rosie. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Good. One of the things I like to tell people about is who you are. How long have you been living in Tampa? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Well, I'm actually looking outside right now, and boy, it seems almost like where I'm from, which is a rainy Seattle overcast day, because we're having a little overcast here in Tampa Bay. But yeah, thanks for asking. I do feel like I've been here quite a long time. I've been here, I think, almost 8 years now. Moved here with my daughters, my young daughters at the time, second and third grade daughters from Seattle, Washington. And I was in Seattle for over 15 years. Thought that that's where I was going to end up staying. And then we made the big move, like I said, almost 8 years ago now to Tampa, and just will never go back. I'm addicted now to the sun and the weather and all the great people here. So we love being in Tampa Bay.
Good. So what made you choose Tampa Bay? What was it that brought you here?
Yes, well, it definitely would the most reason that I moved here was because of that big old yellow, great heated sun in the sky, for sure. Because the weather is just so different from Seattle, where honestly, the sun didn't make it through the clouds most of the days there. So I definitely was in need for new weather. But what got me here to Tampa Bay was that I was in tech in Seattle, and one of the platforms that my company designed and programmed and installed was sold off to a client that had a company in Oldsmar. And so I started to fly to Tampa, and honestly, I'd fly into TPA and then I'd be routed off to Oldsmar. And for the most part, I'd kind of stay in Oldsmar, maybe Rocky Point, but I never really got to see the area. For me, Tampa Bay was an Oldsmar, Rocky Point area. I didn't realize what really was Tampa until I moved here, but I just fell in love with it. And I was coming out here quite a bit. And when I had a choice whether I should stay in Seattle or not, I really pursued moving out here. So that's how I got to Tampa Bay.
Good. Well, yeah, amazing. Tampa is just unique. I was just talking to talking to somebody this afternoon about Tampa is not the typical cookie cutter kind of city. I always say to people that Tampa has a big city big city feel with a small town charm. So it's still who you know, and still very family oriented and just unique. It's not like everything else.
I agree. I think the values, like the small town values, are here, and I think that's a lot because of the mix of people. I mean, there's a lot of people that are here that are from the South, right, from the U.S. And then there's a lot of international people that are, from obviously out of the country, but on the close borders here. And I think just that mix and that melting pot really brings people to identify with the family values that they have. Like you said, that small town, their beliefs and their strong beliefs in that small town feel. I agree with you 100%.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, this show is about inspiring people to find their ñeque, right? To find their grit. And I know you have a story in why you started your company. So first of all, tell us the name of your company. What do you do? And what drove you to start your business?
Well, thank you for asking. So our company is called Now, and it's always caps, N-O-W, Now Publishing. And we have a Now Publishing U.S. brand. We're moving actually nationally. So we've got Now Publishing FL and then Now Publishing GA. We're moving into Atlanta very soon. But so our company started where I had published a business book called Never Drink Coffee During a Business Meeting in 2015. Mm-hmm. And that business book, just like your ñeque business brand book, as you said, it is the new business card. So for sure, I was very happy that I had met a publisher in New York that published my book. And as I went through that journey, and my book is about my journey as a tech CEO, as I said, from Seattle and Portland offices in the Pac Northwest, I realized what was missing from publishing. And so, they say a lot of businesses start because you identify a problem or you know how to solve a problem, right? So for me and for how I came into publishing, I recognize that it's more than the book. Now, that might be something a little bit different for you because you have just now finished and launched your book of ñeque, and it was all about the book, right? For you, for such an intense period of time. It is so much about that, but it is more than that, meaning that you need to have the rockstar book, but you need to have promotion, and you need to have a company that walks you through it and guides you through it and manages your timeline through it. So recognizing what was missing from publishing, from going through my own journey, and then through the other expertise of the people that are on our team at Now Publishing, led us to start this company. And in March, it will be 5 years to, as you know, a very select number of clients that we have. We don't have 100 client roster. We have a client roster that we can manage and handle and give our attention to. But as you know, it's a team effort with our team and our clients. And we think we're getting really great at it. And I really love what I do here in this area.
Good. And now there's a group of us. I know I did my book individually, but there's a group of us that you were inspiring to get us to the finish line on this journey. So tell me a little bit about that group, the name, the purpose, and what's happening with us.
Yes, I'm so excited and happy with all of you guys. So what we're talking about is we have this program that we started in January of 2020, not knowing it would be this kind of a year here. But in January of 2020, we started a program called The Great Write-Off. WRITE, The Great Write-Off. And you are one of our authors in that program, but we have 5 others authors in that program, and all of you have taken 2020 and written your business brand book. And this week we'll actually have a couple of the books I think we'll have 3 books that will come off of press, but we have our big book launch is on November 19th, the evening of November 19th, which happens to be National Entrepreneurship Day. So on November 19th, we have our entrepreneurs that will be launching their business books, and Rosie Paulson's ñeque book will be launched then at the Tampa Club at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we keep adding to the festivities with our event coordinator. It's going to be the largest networking night in Tampa Bay, honestly, for the 2020 year. We're super excited about it.
And if you're not from Tampa and you have not been at the Tampa Club, so is the tallest building in downtown Tampa. So you will be networking at the top of Tampa is what it's called, because you'll be able to see the amazing city from way, way, way high up there, and then build great connections and long-lasting that will turn into eventually sales that you will find your paying customer when you come and build these relationships.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Liza. I know also that you are having this collaborative endow adventure, I will say it. It's called the 25 Changemakers, how Florida business owners thrive during challenging times. Because, of course, we have all experienced 2020 and COVID. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, thanks for asking. Well, that book is really coming together. And basically, a few months back, we really wanted to showcase Florida in a positive light. And it was at the time where we had a state that had some really high numbers in the news, and it wasn't, people were wondering across the nation what we were doing. Well, we weren't wondering, because there's a bunch of business owners that have really made dramatic pivots in their business and made some great changes. And really kudos to you, Rosie, because you've shared with some big changes you've made. And we know that they're already starting to pay off and will pay off. But we're putting together a 25 Changemakers book. It will come out in February of 2021. And the great thing is we're featuring these 25 businesses who speak to the ingenious changes they've made. And the University of Tampa's Entrepreneurial Center is behind us. So they're going to help promote it, and actually even the head of the center, Dr. Rebecca White, is going to be writing our foreword. So we're really excited about this kind of a book. It's something new for our company, and so far I think we've had maybe 15 or 16 interviews already for our chapters, and it's really some great entrepreneurs that are sharing their story in this book.
Yeah, and Tampa, it's a lot about building each other up, supporting a small business, entrepreneurs. If there is some competition here, I really don't ever see it, because really people in Tampa want to help others. I do believe also that, the reason that you build your agency or your company is because you want to help others thrive and succeed, because you don't want them to go through the hurdles you went through, right? And I think that's a big thing about Tampa, about supporting each other and supporting small businesses.
Absolutely. And it does matter. We say that, we're in the age of content right now, and that's for sure. We know with social media and that, a book is the biggest delivery method, right, of content, but it's also, we're in the age of authenticity, right? So eventually, you might say something, but not say, walk the walk. You might represent something, but if you don't deliver, it's going to come out. It is going to come out. And I think that what happens, like you said, is people want, we always know, I've heard you say it many times, people do business with people they like and trust and know. And it is that idea that at the end of the day, our team doesn't do everything perfect, but we try hard. And, we try to do our best, and we keep getting better. But more than anything, the best part of my job is to see people's dreams realized. And that was what is so great about knowing you and seeing what you've done and helping our authors as well.
Yeah, and I know that we are launching my book in Spanish in 2021. Yes. And I know this will be kind of our first experience. But behind me, there's a whole bunch of other international authors that will be doing that. What will be the one thing that perhaps that you have experienced a challenge? And I always ask this to my guests, right? Because the whole idea is inspiring others. But did you have a challenge that you overcame? What was that, and how did you overcome that? How did you overcome it, or you still working through it?
I think when we stumble as a team, or where I stumble in leadership, usually when I base it back to what happened. And that usually sometimes is when I really need to take some pause, and I need to think on it, and I need to really, backstep it to really say, hey, how did this really happen? It almost always comes back to communication. And it's whether, did we not communicate clearly and set that communication correct with the client? Did we not check in with the client when we saw a little red flag? Did we not go right to it to say, hey, we don't want this to become a bigger red flag than it needs to be? Did I not communicate correctly with someone on our team to make sure that they understood not just what they needed to do, but why they were doing what they were doing? It always seems to come back to communication. And, I actually read something, I think this weekend, or heard it or listened to it, something where someone said, we need to take pause. The only way to be mindful and purposeful is to take pause and to slow down. And it caught I think I did hear it because I'm saying it caught my ear. I looked to the person, it was some uber successful person, and they said, saying that, and that is what it is. So I think that, we're so busy and we're always trying to get to the finish line and make things happen, and that's all great, and high energy is wonderful. But honestly, if you take a shortcut or if you don't really stop and make sure the communication is clear, you'll continue to stumble over it.
And one of the things that I always share, it's our experience. I am a person that I'm